We have received an automatic collision notification from your vehicle. You are now connected to an associate.
This is gonna have a bad Carfax
Hi, this is Ava. Did you need some help?
On today's episode of WatchJRGo, I am here to figure out if Nissan is truly going on a comeback tour. Have they turned around completely? Are they returning the vehicles that we want to manufacturing? We're gonna find out today with the brand new 2025 Nissan Murano. What is going on, guys? I'm WatchJRGo, and today I'm here with Eric, and Eric and I have a lot of fond memories in the first gen Nissan Murano. My old roommate, his mom had a Nissan Murano, and we all piled the miles on that car. It was an incredible car. It had the VQ, so you were basically just driving a 350Z at the time, and it was so fast. I don't know how many times that thing cruised around at speeds far into the triple digits. Absolutely comfortable the whole time. It was an incredibly comfortable car, and it had an incredible amount of features. Nissan's navigation at the time was absolutely epic with that joystick with the OK button in the middle, right in the middle of the dash. Nissan has finally moved away from that, but in the meantime, between those days with the incredible VQ coming out to these days, they made a lot of cars with CVTs, and you guys, the internet, hates them. So pretty much all the small Nissan cars and the Murano got CVTs. But for 2025, Nissan has turned the Murano around with a complete refresh, and they put a 9-speed hydraulic automatic transmission in it. And behind me is that 2025 Nissan Murano Platinum, finished in Scarlet Ember with the graphite interior. And I, so far, love this thing. So let's get into it. So the Murano suddenly looks like something out of RoboCop, and I am in love with it. Look at this incredible futuristic grille this thing has. The tiny slit headlights here, those look really good. The DRLs are all the LEDs that are stacked up inside here, and we're gonna go ahead and unlock it so you guys can see what those look like. It is a sight. So there's unlock, there's lock, and we don't have any animations or... So let's talk about the Murano, because this is not the Murano Eric and I grew up with. This is 100% different, but at the same time, it kind of holds true to the Murano core of being very quick. We don't know how quick, we haven't really tested that out yet, but we're going to in this video, and being incredibly comfortable. The first Murano had huge wheels for the time. Honestly, the wheels looked imposing, the car looked incredible. I've always loved the Murano, have a super soft spot in my heart for that thing. And only the first gen, really, and then later on the FX45 and things like that were also incredible, which are, of course, just Muranos. But Muranos with a V8 in the FX55, something like that. I mean, they did a Sebastian Vettel edition that nobody really knows about in that Infinity, and that's just out of control cool. But this is fully redesigned, incredibly nice inside, and still supposedly incredibly comfortable. And I've driven it a few miles, and I agree, it is incredibly comfortable. But let's start where we always start, which is with the key. So the key is very simple. It is a Nissan key. It looks like it should be two-way. It looks like there's a status light on there, but I've never seen it light up. We have remote start, lock, unlock, and hold for trunk and panic. And of course, the actual key slides out of the bottom there, and that is the key overview. This is obviously keyless go, comfort access, whatever you want to call it. Just push the button on the door handle for lock and unlock. When it locks, the power folding mirrors fold up. Since we're already here, let's talk about them. They are blind spot monitor right there, turn signal right there, painted black instead of body color, which looks very nice against the Scarlet, and of course, power and power folding. As we said, coming around the front here, you can see the 21-inch wheels, which is a first for Nissan, and I think these look pretty good. They really tie in with the grille and give you some of that futuristic RoboCop look. But this is clearly a wheel cover that snaps into the metal part of the wheel, which is the polished and the black.
Yeah, I was like, if that's a rim, that's a heck of a rim.
Oh yeah, machining that would be wild.
So the rims are $15,000 on the Murano.
Right? Wrapped in some Bridgestone Sport AS right there. And coming around the front here is that amazing grille again. Now there are no lighting animations, which is a huge letdown. I don't understand how you could let that opportunity pass you by. Like, why wouldn't you like light the car up towards the ground. Start with that one, turn on that one, turn on that one, turn on that one, turn on. Like, you have to make animations to fit in today's market. Everybody has epic animated light displays on the front of the cars. Mercedes is doing stuff that you can't imagine. Like, the headlights display the Mercedes logos on walls when they start up, and Nissan couldn't light the bars up one after another. That's all you need to look classy. So I will say that's a little bit of a drawback, but I really do like this front end a lot as well. Like, these headlights are really, really cool. The black Murano stripe there, also really cool. Ultrasonic parking sensors all the way across, radar hiding in there, front camera in there, the new Nissan badge right there with the white in it, and of course, a little pop-out cover for the tow hook right there. And that is the front end. We're not gonna spend too much time looking at anything else here. No Murano in the glass like the kicks or anything, but that's classy. Wiper under the spoiler, third brake light, LED, shark fin antenna, Nissan badge that's updated as well. Push this button to open the hatch, push it again to close it. Very nice looking LEDs around back, as you saw before, and of course ultrasonic parking sensors around the rear as well, with that rear camera right above the tag. LED tag lights, and of course kick to open the hatch, but why not? Did I kick it wrong? There we go, I kicked it wrong. All right, so the LEDs lit up, hatch opened up, lots of storage back here, enough for 4 passenger, 5 passengers bags, easy. You can stack a lot of 24-inch carry-ons back here, or you know, 2 big suitcases and 2 more 24s on top of that. A little roll-up cargo cover, and we'll let that retract back, and apparently you flip it over. And then you have the releases for the seats right there. They are not power releases. You flip them, and the seats flip forward. But they sit almost flat, so you do have a ton of storage. Truck bed style storage with almost flat seats. A little bit of angle still, maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 degrees, but it's not too much. Back here, we do not have a spare tire in the Murano, I know that. Instead, we have the gigantic Bose subwoofer, which does put in a ton of work. This does have a very solid audio system. And since there's no spare tire, you get an air compressor and some Fix-A-Flat ready to hook up to the compressor and fill it all back up. These LED cargo lights look really nice as well. It's very bright back here, which is definitely key at night, you know? Sometimes you get in cars and you can't see anything in the middle of the night. You got a lock button and a hatch close button right there on the hatch. These doors are sculpted to have the wheel arch in them. I'm always a fan of that. It looks pretty cool. And it also makes it easier to open the doors in parking lots. Before we jump into the interior, I do want to take a quick look inside the gas cap here and check it out. Nissan has gone capless, taking a page out of Ford's playbook right there. I think everyone's got that figured out, and it sure is nice to not have to worry about the cap when it's freezing cold and you're filling up with gas and your fingers don't want to work. It's so cold. You can just shove the gas in there, fill it up. Now, this is the back door right here. You can see it has manual roll-up privacy screens. So at least that probably won't break for a while like the power ones. Honestly, I don't know. It just depends. If you put kids in the back, it seems like the privacy shades get broken. If the car is owned by adults and only ever has adults in the back, the privacy screens last forever. But people mess with the fabric, and it's not meant to be touched too much. They're just kind of a fragile thing. It doesn't matter who makes them. Privacy screens are always fragile. But these doors are incredible. Look at this, they wrapped everything in leather in the Platinum. This is soft touch leather, it's got padding under it, soft touch. Down here, we're finally down in the plastic with tons of room for big water bottles in the door pockets. Really well-designed door panel right here. Every window is auto up and down, including the rear controls, of course. And this is the graphite interior with this kind of carbon look leading up to the door handle there. So everything about this is absolutely nice. So here's the back seat. The bottom of the seat looks absolutely normal, and the top looks super premium with these tufted diamonds in there. So I love the color of the interior on this thing. The black with the brown really fits together well. I mean, it all feels very, very nice. Let's see what we got here in the center. 2 cup holders, a little pen holder, snack holder, whatever you want. Nothing to keep that stuff from vibrating around in this cup holder, but hey, you got an armrest, it folds. And you also have a center headrest that pops up, which is nice. And for the back passengers, we have heated seats on both sides in the rear and 2 USB-C ports with some manual vents above that. So that is most of the back seat. Wow, just ooh. They dim and they have multiple levels. That's cool. So touch to turn on, touch again to dim, touch again to fade out. That is really nice with the rear interior lighting there. Good job, Nissan. That is very fancy. They didn't have to go that hard on these interior lights. This is actually super nice. Before we jump in the driver's seat, let's open the hood and see what we got going on under here. This is the 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, which is pretty much exactly what you guys would expect. Everybody now has gone to a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It's a simple, cheap to build package that makes plenty of excellent power, and there's really nothing to complain about with a 2.0 4-cylinder. Another giant alternator, as we see on all the new cars as well. It does have auto start stop, and of course it has a lot of electrical loads, and that's what we do now. We do engines and alternators, and for the rest of eternity that will be ICE cars as far as I'm concerned. We're just going to keep seeing the same packaging from everybody. Giant charge pipe though. That's kind of interesting. The headlights are huge, but also, like I said, very, very thin. So it's kind of a cool package as well. Battery hanging out right there, current sensing. A lot of ducting into the air filter, which takes up most of the room under the hood. So when you pull these 2 pins and pop this thing out, you're gonna have a ton of access to the engine right there. The MAF sure will be easy to change if you have to go after it. They put Phillips on there. I mean, for a long time, everybody was making it hard to take them out, trying to use security torques and stuff. But Nissan was like, here, you need to work on it? Have at it. Hanging off the side of this engine is the 9-speed hydraulic automatic transmission that has replaced all the JRGo CVTs, which seem to be the bane of everyone's existence on the internet. Now, in reality, most people are probably driving those cars 100,000 miles and throwing them away, but they don't last terribly much longer than that, right? You're expecting like 130,000 mile shelf life from those CVTs, and a lot of people for some reason expect them to go 300,000. They just don't do that, and also nobody services them, so when they break, you're just dead. And that's kind of how those vehicles have gone, and you see them disappear as quickly as they come to life as time goes on. You just buy another car when your transmission goes bad. But with this, it is a hydraulic automatic, and I bet people will be repairing them rather quickly if they start having any failures, because they're a well-known entity. Like, we're all pretty good at doing hydraulic automatics. It does send power to all 4 wheels through Nissan's intelligent all-wheel drive system, and that's the drivetrain right there. This thing cranks out 241 horsepower, 260 foot-pounds of torque. We don't know how fast it is yet, but we'll find out here in just a few minutes when we get it out on the road. So it looks nice under here. It looks like you could service a lot of stuff. You can even get to the fuel rail, which is impressive compared to that Mini we're working on, where you can't get to the fuel rail no matter what. It's an engine pull. So I don't mind this packaging. I'm not going to hate on this one bit. Heading inside the Murano, take a look at these big, beautiful door panels. Again, we've got nice ambient lighting all the way along here above the door handle. Memory seats right there. Very nice finishes on all the window switches, mirror controls, everything like that. It all looks right. It all looks cohesive. They did a good job. The ergonomics are right, and everything is padded. Everything is leather or vinyl with padding underneath it, which is nice when you put your arm all the way up on the top of the door there. And the seats, ooh, the seats, they look incredible. The tufting looks nice, and since it's a platinum, it has massage seats. Look at that, for only $50,000. They gave it massage seats. The seats are full power, of course, forward, back, up, down, everything you would expect, lumbar, all the controls that you want in a nice seat, and they are very comfortable. I think they call these the zero gravity seats, and they feel incredibly comfortable while still being supportive. So it's really got the seats going for it here. Let's jump in this thing and take a quick look at some controls here. So we have the lane keeping or lane centering right there. We have, this shows you a bunch of information about the ADAS system. This is the heated steering wheel, and of course the hatch open button right there. Auto hold for the brake right there. Always one of my favorite features. I love auto hold. And then of course an electronic parking brake and hood open there. Power, tilt, and telescope wheel, which is always awesome to see. Look how fast it moves. Might be the fastest wheel I've ever seen. It's faster than my Ford and faster than just about every other power tilt wheel on the planet. So we have auto headlights here on the stock, of course, auto high beams, just push the button on the end to turn those on and off. And the stocks feel very nice as well. 3 flash for the indicators if you're changing lanes. Auto wipers, of course, rear wiper control out here on the end. All of these feel great. Paddle shifters that are very well done to control that 9-speed automatic, and a big giant screen right across the dash here. And it looks like one continuous screen, but when they're on, you can clearly see that it's one screen that's kind of small, right there to right there, and one more screen that's right there to right there. So let's turn this thing on so we can see the steering wheel controls. They don't light up until it's running. There we go. A little Nissan animation, Nissan Intelligent Mobility. And that's fine because we haven't enabled any of this stuff. We can hit OK here to clear everything off the screen, and everything is starting up, including built-in Google Maps and CarPlay. I'm sure it'll reconnect to my phone any second now. But here's the Pro Pilot button right here, and when you push it, it shows all the details of Pro Pilot on the screen. And if you push it again, it goes away. Cruise control buttons right here, follow distance right here, and kind of an interesting volume rocker on the bottom. You can see the volume moving up and down as I do that. It's different because when you push in, it's like a touch screen plus a single giant button that's pushing in. This whole thing is one button, but the push and the touchscreen location adds up to the input, which is kind of interesting. A little rocker for up and down on cruise control, and then a really, really weird setup over here on the right side of the steering wheel. Honestly, the track buttons make perfect sense. So if this button is orange, it means you're controlling this screen with these. And if this button is orange, it means you're controlling this screen. You can see it scrolling up and down now. That is unnecessary. I love technology and I love features, but that is unnecessary. You should only let the controls control one thing, and they should not transform into completely different controls. That's a recipe for not doing the right thing at the right time. So that's a little ridiculous. I mean, it might be nice to not have to reach over here, but just make the steering wheel control the screen that's in front of you. And of course, your voice assistant button right here, 4-way D-pad, and this crazy weird scrolling thing that scrolls diagonally. Now the Murano does have a heads-up display, which you can probably see right there, that 0 mile per hour kind of floating in the dash. You know, I haven't really noticed it at all driving. I just keep looking down here at the screens. So kind of an interesting heads-up display. I hope you can put more info in there, like the tach, maybe the track that's playing. It'd be good to have more than just mile per hour in there. And I think it does show some of the Pro Pilot status in there, so that's nice too. I noticed it was there, but I wasn't really looking at it, which means the screens here are doing a very good job of showing me all the pertinent info. And these screens do show you a lot. And if we scroll back and forth, we can see settings, and there's a simplified gauge view right there, which is obviously very simplified. Tach, speed, gear over there, and fuel right there, which also shows you which side the fuel door is on. Very nice. And then there's the full display that shows you what's playing in CarPlay, compass, vehicle status, speed, a lot more about the car, and it can even show you time. It's turned off right now, but you can configure this and put some cool things in the center gauges. It doesn't change with the mode, which is interesting, right? So I'll change the drive mode to sport, and it doesn't turn red or anything. It doesn't change the ambient lighting in the cabin, which is, it's a nice white, but you think it would turn red for sport or blue for eco, and nothing like that is happening. It just changes the drive mode and shows it under the gear. So we're gonna put it back in standard. Those are the only drive modes you get: Sport, Standard, Eco. I'm a big fan of this. It looks like crushed glass, but it's really just a really cool finish on some plastic. The vents are also cool because check it out, you've got manual vents, but you have switches in the vent. So this is the hazard right here, and this is also not great user design, right? You can push down and the hazards turn on. You can push up and the hazards turn on. And I really don't think any switch should be allowed to do things like that. Don't make switches do multiple things. So you can also go up to turn them on and down to turn it off, or you can go down to turn it on and up to. So it's like a 3-way switch in a house, and most of the time they do their job, but they're annoying because they're in the wrong position. I know this one is just a momentary switch and it looks cool, but I don't love the idea behind it. This one makes sense. Track up and track down. Up is forward and down is back, and that makes sense. Why aren't the hazards up for on and down for off? Why does one switch work one way and one switch work completely differently? It's just stateless. Volume control, it's very nice. Love it. The volume dial itself is like a polished chrome black that looks cool with this light up ring in it that says volume. And you guys get the idea. It's classy. It says Murano down here, and all of these buttons have feedback. If you listen, you can hear the motor push back against me as I touch different buttons. So we'll set the climate back to auto, and that brings me to my next point that I don't love. To turn on the heated seats and steering wheel and stuff, you have to push on driver or passenger or go into the climate settings and open those menus up. That is a big downside. I don't like that one bit. I do appreciate that I can turn on and off. Oh wow, I can turn on and off those hard buttons in the back. So that's cool. I'll give it some credit. I'm a big fan of that. I do not love having to drill into menus to turn on the heated and cooled seats, and neither will your passenger, and honestly, neither will the driver. And the heated steering wheel got a button though. So what are we doing here? They're pulling it forward on me. I can control my seats, but I can't control my steering wheel without digging through menus. Just, if it's heated or cooled, put a button on the car. We're not asking for much here. Those should be exposed all the time. Let's take a look at these settings for the climate control. Ooh, airflow intensity. That's kind of cool. I wonder what that does. It's in auto. Give me some intensity here. Driver auto seat sensitivity. Okay, cool. That's nice. Wow. This is definitely one of the first times you've been able to control the auto controls for the heated seats and the heated wheel. And this should really be in every car. If you're going to make it all auto like this is, these heated seats are auto. You might not ever have to go into the menus. It's cool that you can adjust the thresholds for them to turn on and off, but it would help if they defined it. They don't define what those do. It's just sensitivity. So that's climate, and here's home. Home looks very nice, almost looks like CarPlay. Has XM, has hybrid radio is what they're calling it too, so it should be HD radio. It's connected to my phone, CarPlay, Android Auto. It has everything here in the infotainment. Google Maps built in, very nice. It can show the maps in the center screen as well. If we just arrow over on the driver display, we can see everything else about the car. Here's our drive computer with trip odometers, all that cool stuff. Here is TPMS. Here is the map like Audi MMI, very cool. And the music that's playing, and of course the ProPilot status. But this infotainment is good. I really like the layout. I like the way it works. It's snappy. So far, I have nothing to complain about with this infotainment. And a lot of times I can find some stuff, but this is really, really cool right here. So XM can be the actual satellite radio, or if you hit this button, it can connect to the satellite radio over the internet. And it just did, over the phone. That's crazy. How cool is that? Over the built-in cell phone, it can't get to the satellite, we're in a metal building, and it jumped over to the cell phone and brought the internet in. That is so cool. I've always said it should do that. It's the best implementation of this I've ever seen. These seem a little cheap feeling, right? But none of it's bad. The notifications make sense. The settings make sense. Is this the tone controls? Oh, look at that. Tone controls at your fingertips. Nobody does that. Vehicle hotspot. Very cool. This is so well done compared to everyone else. I mean, there's some good stuff out there. Hyundai is incredible right now, but this is also good. What is going on here, Nissan? It can show the ProPilot Assist mode. Let's change to, oh, look at that. You can change the intensity of them. Wow. So let's say we want passion. All right. So I'm hoping that's actually set to drive mode. You can even turn on and off different sections of the ambient lighting. Good job, Nissan. And they themed everything, right? It's clearly running Google's Android Auto, not Android Auto from your phone, but the full Android Auto OS. It does have Alexa built in. Oh, look at that. It has MyQ built in to control your garage doors. This is good. Wow. And I think we can actually play this so you guys can hear the audio system, which is very, very good. This one just felt like a bunch of stock footage put together, but they did a great job mixing the audio track and it worked out pretty well. So kind of fun. So that's the infotainment in the Murano. You'll love the system and you won't have any problems with this. It's quick. Oh, wow. Just keep impressing me. Come on. Wow. All right, well, that's infotainment I would not mind using one bit every day of my life. I'm impressed, Nissan. You did something right. Check it out. 2 USB-Cs right there, wireless charging right here, a little light to tell you if it's wireless charging right there. The gear shift is right here. It's all buttons. That's all the buttons. And of course, you can push again. Yeah, look at that. If you push drive twice, it puts you in manual shift mode right there. Auto start stop off, which is always going to be pressed because this thing's auto start stop is a little aggressive and a little too slow to restart at the red lights. It does work, but it's a little annoying. A lot of piano black right here. It's all gonna get fingerprints on it. And a camera button to jump in and out of the cameras and also change camera views, right? That's pretty cool. And you can see through the hood with that as well. If you think the hood's too high, the camera has a virtual see-through hood mode. And you can tell it to activate the cameras using GPS coordinates. So you can like mark a location and whenever you pull up there, the cameras will already be on to help you park. So your garage at home, your driveway, it can do a lot of cool things like that. So a lot of credit for that. ProPilot seems okay. We'll do a little demoing out here on the road in a second. Obviously power locks, full auto sunshade, full auto sunroof, big panoramic roof right there. Touch sensitive buttons for the interior lights. They work very well. Home link on the mirror works. It's not frameless, kind of a downgrade from most of the luxury stuff, but hey, it's got home link and it's a working auto dimming mirror. Good for them. Sliding sun visor right there with a little clip for your tickets. Weird. That's incandescent. How did that happen? Every other light in this car is LED. The center console storage is large and there are no lights, no vents, and no power in there. Kind of interesting. The leather feels nice on the armrest though. And the glove box is absolutely normal plastic. You're not really gonna be able to open that if you have a passenger sitting here and their knees are hitting it, but it is soft open, comes with some books, and that's the glove box. And of course, start stop right there. And all of this looks really, really nice. It looks like one continuous piece of wood with electronic controls in it. So shout out to them for finishing this out well. And I think that's a complete tour of the 25 Murano. So let's get it out on the road. So we've got ProPilot driving this thing down the road right now. I know, a crazy place to start. We're not gonna talk about the acceleration or handling or anything. How the ADAS disengages is so important to me. This is good so far. At least they're trying to warn you. Oh, it beeps faster. Will it stop the car? Oh. Okay, it jerks the car. Hazards. Okay. We've stopped. And then what's it do now? Okay, it set the e-brake. Okay, let's not. How do we stop that? Can you figure out how to stop that?
Yeah, is there a hang up button on the steering wheel? I don't think it's giving me anything.
Oh, it's that one.
Oh, there you go. No.
That's what it is. It's the SOS. How do we hang it up?
Well, that would be it.
Oh, they're talking to us. Aren't they?
Calls may be recorded and monitored for quality. Nissan Connect.
Here, leave it.
We have received an automatic collision notification from your vehicle. You are now connected to an associate.
This is going to have a bad
Hi,
Carfax
this is
now.
Ava. Did you need some help?
No, we were just playing with the ADAS and it calls you automatically if you let it drive for too long.
Oh, okay, thank you so much. If you need us, we're here 24 hours a day. Just press the SOS button. I will now close the call.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Well, good job, Nissan. That is exactly how you handle ADAS disengagements. All these other cars that I've driven, not all of them, we just drove something else that disengaged properly. All the Hyundais disengaged properly. All the Mercedes disengaged properly. But there was like that Acura TLX Type S, it just shuts off. Another car we drove just shuts off. And those ones that shut off once the car is driving itself are the most dangerous thing on the planet, because it's right in that zone where you're probably gonna fall asleep, and then all of a sudden you wake up and your car that was driving itself is upside down in a ditch, and you may or may not be alive. So if you're going to drive the car, stop the car when the ADAS disengages. Don't do anything else. You can't just shut off. That has to be illegal. This is just the only right way to do it. You got to bring the car to a stop. Anyway, it works really, really well. And of course, it tried to get our attention forever. And I think that would wake just about everybody up when you're sitting there going like this as it hits the brakes on you. And then eventually it nicely slows down. So that's all really nice. I do want to mention that it's dead quiet in the cabin. You guys can hear a little bit of engine noise, but you sure can't hear the road. So whatever they did to tune these tires is incredible. So little road noise, and it doesn't have acoustically laminated glass or anything like that. This is Carltex glass. I didn't see the acoustic lamination logos on it. It just seems like they did a great job tuning the chassis and the tires and everything to really try to disconnect you from the road. Seats are very, very comfy. What's your take on the seats there? I think
They're good. This one has like
Did you turn your massage on?
no. Is it a?
It's right on top of the controls. Oh, look at that. We missed that in the walkthrough. You can change the massage style, relaxing, refreshing, and lumbar. So it doesn't do your butt, or it does do your butt?
I don't know. No, but
Here you go.
just has a picture of the back. So
I'm going with refreshing. Pretty cool to have massage seats in a car at this price point. Honestly, pretty rare. So I'm giving them a lot of credit for that. $52,000 in massage seats is nearly unheard of. The only way to get that is to buy a used King Ranch like Eric. You know, for a car that looks big outside, this thing also feels big. For some reason, it feels like you're just a small driver in a gigantic spaceship that's surrounding you. Kind of interesting. It shouldn't feel cavernous because it's not that big, but it looks big and it feels big, which is a crazy trick to pull off. Then again, it is 2025 and all of our cars are big. Well, now it's time for the all-important 0 to 60 test, or the how fast can you merge onto the highway after you pick up all your kids from school test. So let's pull out here on the road. We got to get to Mexico real quick, and we're gonna see exactly how fast this thing goes. I'm expecting like a 7-second 0 to 60. I don't. Oh, you're gonna look it up?
no.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna time it.
All right, let's time it. I'm excited to see the timing here.
We'll have to call it unofficial, but
Unofficial for sure. Ready, go. It needs a 1 mile an hour rollout to be even acceptable.
it goes nowhere for a whole second.
It did take one entire second from the time I went full throttle before it even moved. So it really took its time there. I think you could knock 1 second off if you gave it a 1 mile an hour rollout, or a 1 foot rollout, like everybody does now. So that's the key to 0 to 60 testing this car. Eric's looking up what it's supposed to be, and I'm very interested to see, because he got 8.75 seconds, and assuming he's a little slow on the draw, that should take off about a half.
8.0 and
8.0 to 8.3 is the official testing. About a half.
Close.
Yeah.
I mean,
All right.
my unofficial off by 0.4 is pretty close.
You figure your finger takes a half second to get on and off.
I tried to even jump you just a little bit off the start. Just because, but
well,
yeah, 8.0 to 8.3 is not great.
All right. Well, it's not fast, but it is economical, I guess. It's not really that economical since it only gets 23 mile per gallon combined.
Yeah,
but
it needs to be able to get out of its own way, though.
It does, and like it does. You know what? It's better than a lot of the budget cars I've been driving.
Yeah, it's probably better up to speed.
Yeah.
You just need to be able to get around people, like, in a healthy manner on the highway instead of playing around next to them.
Sometimes you need some power to solve those problems.
Yeah.
And we did do this one in sport. Sometimes I forget to switch to sport. Obviously, it just remaps the throttle. So if you're wide open, should always be wide open. But we gave it all of the fair chances we could here, and it did 8.75 roughly in real life. It's not that bad. I mean, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, that would have been stellar.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's getting a little slow because everything on the planet can do 0 to 60 in 6 for the most part. Also, when it's in sport, it stays in some low gears. And you can hear it's actually turning quite a few RPM, about 2,500. Oh, look at that. It was in 4th. Out of 9 gears, it was in 4th being in sport. I don't think it needs to be that aggressive. 5th or 6th would have been fine. You could throw more power in this thing, put the VQ back in it, and it would be a game-changing platform. It would be untouchable. But I think it's fine with this engine in it. I don't have any qualms about this engine. It could be faster, but it doesn't need to be faster. And at the price point, well, you get all the tech, and they pull a little bit out of the drivetrain. Everything adds up at the end of the day. I think the maths economically. And the other thing is there's a ton of body roll. I mean, a ton of body roll. We did a little slalom test between some light poles. Not a real slalom test, but just some turns back and forth. Look at that. I mean, it's under control, but the car goes the other direction. It's a lot of body roll. Brakes, excellent. Top to bottom, excellent. Tires, excellent. If we had to give it a WatchJRGo score, I'd say 8. Maybe it is Nissan's comeback. It could be a 7. It's a 7. 7.5.
It's one drive. Everyone knows the rules.
One drive. We only take one bite of these cars. Eric brought up a good point here. He did say that this is not as fun as the first gen Murano, and it's true. The first gen Murano was a screamer, and we have so many great memories because it was a blast, and you were isolated from the road, but still having a good time. This car is pretty dead inside. But it's exactly what you need to move your family around. So whether the Murano is fun or not, it's up to you. It's not really a factor we're going to add into the rating here. There you have it. That is the 2025 Nissan Murano Platinum. This has basically all of the options, $52,000 sticker. You can turn it up a little bit more than that. I think you can get it to about 54 if it's completely maxed out, but this is a very solid spec. And you can also spend a lot less money if you want, and probably, I think you get the same drivetrain through all of them, right? A 2-liter turbo with all-wheel drive makes sense for the whole model range. So let me know, do you think Nissan's making a comeback with this absolutely killer infotainment? Not the best. I mean, Hyundai's still doing better than that. Lots of people are still like inching them out infotainment wise, but this is competent all the way, so that's saying something. And a 9-speed hydraulic automatic transmission, traditional, right? No CVT, and a car that people probably want. I think these things are going to be flying off the shelves, but let me know in the comments below, do you think this new Murano can save Nissan? Because we did just find out the Honda-Nissan merger is off, or back to the drawing table or something like that. Basically, neither of them can truly buy each other, so they're at a crossroads where they can't figure out who would take over, and also the staffs of both companies didn't want to all be let go. So, of course, they all voted against the merger. So, here we are. Honda's still Honda, and Nissan's still Nissan. And if Nissan keeps building stuff like this, they might be back for the long haul. Let me know what you guys think. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.WatchJRGo.com for cool shirts just like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Well, you going to trade the Lexus in for a Nissan?
I don't think so.
You did say it's the same car.
I mean, it's the same size.
Same size, same feel.
There's things I like and dislike about both of them. But, I mean, the Lexus is 3.5 liter.
True.
300 horsepower naturally aspirated, and it gets the same fuel mileage.
Yeah, how does it get the same fuel mileage out of that big old V6?
Toyota doing Toyota things.
That's true.
That's all I know.
But you don't have wireless charging, and this thing's got it in spades.
That is true. It's 4 years newer.
4 years newer.
But
way more money. What's going on over there?
Did I hit a button?
Oh, you hit the call the police?
Yeah, I guess.
Don't call them. They won't know what to do with a new Murano. They stole it!
JR won't let... He's held me hostage in here. I can't go anywhere. It'd be funny if they believe me.
Oh, man.
No, that's nice, though. I really like it. I'd like to say that that one that we... I wouldn't say we abused it, but we were young and we probably abused it.
We did a little drive.
We probably owe her one, but yeah, you know who you are. If you want one, they're for sale. So
yeah,
you can go buy one.
That's true. Especially this one. It's nice.
Yeah, it is nice. I don't know. They made it look bigger than it is, but it's, I mean.
Yeah, it looks huge, but it's not that big.
Yeah, yeah. It's got a bulky front and like a, I don't know how you would say it in the back, like a very pronounced back.
Yep.
I didn't want you to notice it, but the back looks very futuristic, yeah.
The whole thing looks futuristic. They really nailed this thing.
It's good color too.
Good color. Also, a few of you noticed yesterday, I don't know how, but somebody was like, our boy's getting sick, and I was doing terrible yesterday. I was dying yesterday, and I'm just living on Dayquil and NyQuil over here. And then today I was doing really well, and then as soon as we started making this video, absolute dying. So, I need a full day in bed just to recover.
You ain't gonna get it. We gotta go.
We gotta go get a car tomorrow.
Tomorrow, we gotta go get it.
I get it.